So there's allegations made by DocNet YouTube. I've never heard of this site before, but the allegation posted on X is that Tim Walz had an intimate relationship with one of his gay students and was caught taking him to a gay bar, and this is why he resigned from being a school teacher. Again, this is just an allegation, but for an October surprise, and this is what this is, to work, it doesn't have to be true. We've seen that with Dan Rather when George Bush, G.W. Bush was running, I think it was 2004. 2 days before the election, Dan Rather on CBS News reported that George W. Bush's commander, like he read a letter, was saying that George W. Bush falsified his military records. He was a fraud. And a lot of people believed it, and a lot of people changed their vote over that, although Bush still won, obviously. He barely won, and he would have won a lot bigger if it wasn't for this report. And like a week after the election, CBS fired Dan Rather and said it was a false report. So this is just allegations. There's no evidence this is true, but I'm just saying this is a big October surprise that could hurt the Democrats. Now, the last election, presidential election, the Republicans had an October surprise from the New York Post that was true, but the media censored it because they didn't want Trump to win. And that was the Hunter Biden laptop. They said it was Russian disinformation. And now we know it wasn't. We know it was true. And we do know it affected the election. It was definitely election interference. The CIA and everybody, FBI, told Twitter not to show it. Facebook, they actually locked the New York Post, like the oldest newspaper in New York, out of their own account. They locked out Kayleigh McEnany because she reposted it. So like 60% of Americans didn't see it. And out of those 60% of Americans, based on pretty legitimate polls, the ones that voted for Biden said 40% of them said that would have changed their vote and they would have voted for Trump and Trump would have won. So that October surprise would have worked and it was honest. This one I don't know is honest, but I'm just saying it is an October surprise and it will get people looking. And, you know, thank God Elon Musk doesn't censor Twitter, or X. So the story is going to get out. So it may affect people's minds in voting. And, you know, there is something to the story that is true. Some parts of it we know we can verify. The New York Times actually reported that a gay student confided in Tim Walz in the 90s that he was gay. And Tim Walz encouraged the student. Him and his wife took the student to an Indigo Girls concert. Some reports say the kid moved in with him. You know, the New York Times, it was a favorable article saying, yes, he's always been a friend to the LGBTQ community. Tim Walz is one of our biggest supporters, and he encouraged the boy to come out of the closet. So that's true. I mean, that we know the reporting is true. No one's denying that. But the allegation, again, this is just an allegation that this guy .net YouTube is saying is he's going to let out more information later, supposedly. But that student actually went to a gay bar and had inappropriate relationships with Tim Walz. So, like I said, for an October surprise to work, it doesn't have to be true. And so we don't know if it's true or not. I'm just purely giving you the political aspect of it, that October surprises work. Now, I would encourage you to look into it to see if it's true. I mean, when I seen Tim Walz for the first time, my gaydar went up. I don't know about you, but he's a pretty gay looking dude, and the way he acts is kind of gay. But I mean, there's some men are just soft. He could just be a soft, feminine man. Most Democrats are that I meet. So I don't know. Could be true, could not be true. But what is true is that it's an October surprise, and October surprises work. And it's going, there's only 3 weeks left if they got to address this. But, the mainstream media will probably ignore it. And if the liberals own Twitter, they would suppress it. But this story is not going to be suppressed. It's going to, this guy's got it on X. They're not taking it down. So people are going to learn about it. And if it is true, it'll come out. If it's not true, that'll come out. So hopefully the truth comes out one way or another, because I want to win this, but I want to win it fair and square. I don't want to win it like the Democrats win it, with lying, and cheating. We want to win this fair and square. But this is politics, and it gets dirty and it gets rough. So we'll see what happens. But again, this is an allegation from DocNet YouTube that Tim Walz had an inappropriate relation with one of his gay students, who the New York Times said he had a relationship. They didn't say it was inappropriate, that just that the boy confided in him that he was gay, and him and his wife encouraged him to come out of the closet, and him and his wife took him to an Indigo concert, and they hung out. So the rest could just be made up. Some people get, and this is what happens with conspiracy theories. There'll be some truth, and then they'll add to it, and they're like, wow, if this is true, this must be true. And there's conspiracy theorists on both sides of the aisle, left and right. You got NBC on the left, Alex Jones on the right, Taylor Marshall on the right too. But anyhow, just a little bit of information I thought I'd share with you. God bless and stay Catholic.